Hi everybody, this is Wayne Marshall, and I'm very happy today because this harmonium, which I bought from a recycling plant, yes, a recycling plant not too far away from here, is now fully repaired and working. And I have to say a big thank you to my friend Grant Vicat, because this is a guy who I put a message out on Facebook, said, is there anybody who can come and help me repair my ailing harmonium? I mean, there was a problem because one note, this middle D, was ciphering. The note was playing all the time, no matter what was happening with it. And these instruments are very, very complex. I mean, it's amazing, really. I mean, I never imagined the amount of technology that really goes into making this thing work. I mean, it's mind-blowing, really. I mean, we've taken this apart over the last four Mondays. Grant has been here in my house. He was spending about between 5 and 6 hours just taking it apart and finding out how it all works. And it's really, really, really complex. And I have to say, I take my hat off to him because for this, I found him on Facebook. I just put an advert out, and anyone who could help me, and Grant answered. And so I just said, yeah, come and sort it out. And and today we finally finished it. I mean, it's been a labour of love, really, because I found this literally on a recycling site, and it was there, and I noticed it because I've been going there taking stuff, as you do. And one day I just plucked up the courage to go and play it, and really fell in love with it. So we hired a van and brought it here to our house. And when I first brought it here, it's last year now. It was actually at the front of the house, and of course it was filthy, as you can well imagine. I take a lot of it apart. But the thing about these instruments is that you have to really look after them. And as I said, I took it apart as much as I could. Taking the keyboard out, and at the back, lots of so many screws and parts that fit together very intricately, and it's very, very, very complex. But the sound of this instrument is what I like most of all. Now it's all working. I mean, it was working, but apart from this one note, which was constantly playing. But apart from the 8-foot sound of this organ, it also has 4-foot, which of course is, I suppose that's also normal, but it has 16-foot as well, and with such stopped names like Ophicline and Bassoon 16. Now these are sort of more organ stops, but it makes a wonderful sound, and I've just picked out a few of the 8-foot sounds that you can hear. Now, of course, this instrument has to be pumped by the feet, and there are 2 bellows here which I have to sort of constantly push downwards and upwards again. So you'll sort of hear a lot of noise. But I've got my microphones placed behind the harmonium, so at least you get an idea of what it sounds like. So here's some 8-foot sounds. Sound, isn't it? Really amazing. I mean, I just love it. There are 3 4-foot stops on this. So of course, the 8-foot, of course, is like piano pitch, where you play middle C and it sounds one note like this. But the 4-foot, when you add it, it sounds an octave higher, like this. So it's like playing 2 notes at the same time, but it's actually because the stop is actually pitched 1 octave higher, so you get a wonderful variety of different sounds. So here it is with the 4-foots added as well. So here we go. It's got a rich bass sound to it, do you think? And I just love the sort of, the variety of stops. Now, as I said, it has these wonderful 16s, and these, of course, sound an octave lower than the actual sounding note. When you've got 8 foot here, which is middle C here, the 16 foot will sound an octave lower. So the same, so you get a very rich sound. Now, this has got an ophicline, so it's you've got the treble end, and then you've got the bass end. So I'm going to draw two of the 16 footers together. Ophicline bassoon. This. It's so rare to find this. As I said on intro of this size, it's very interesting, but it makes a wonderful sound. Now, the one thing that, of course, having taken this apart with Grant, the things that we've discovered. I mean, the things I didn't know. Did you realise that the sounds, when you push the bellows, you think that the air is actually going into something and going actually into the pipe. Or into the reed, as it's like, not the pipe, like the organ, but of the organ, of course, the air is blown into the pipe to make the sound. Here, the reeds, which of course are placed, inside there, the air, when you pump the bellows, the air is actually sucking, is pulling, and this is what the reed looks like. It's really full of these little brass things here, and the reed is this little contraption here. I don't know how clearly you can see it, but there's a little brass wheel which is actually screwed with a very small screw into this, and I can demonstrate it, because when you think you blow like this, no, you actually have to suck like this, and that's how the sound of a harmonium is produced. I had no idea. It's a sucking action, so it's very, very interesting. I had no idea, but you learn something every day, don't you? And there's so many of these reeds. On this instrument, we had to take out a few of the top two notes, because there's a bit of a problem. I mean, it's a temporary problem, but it needs another component, and it's just, I just said, look, let's just take these two notes out, but at the same time, of all the stops, you have to take out all the reeds, because otherwise they would still cipher, and this was happening. But there was these little springs underneath the notes, and for some reason we just couldn't get these springs, the replacements for these, so it was just easy just to take these notes out. So top E and F are not working, but at least the rest of it is, So there we go. So this is an instrument. It's an American instrument, and would you believe it? It was actually built in 1892. Yes, 1892. And there are so many of these instruments on the planet, as you can well imagine. And of course they were very popular in churches before. I suppose no pipe organ could be there, but these were the staple at one point. So you can imagine. So there's so many of them, and it's criminal really to throw them out, or to throw them. And I imagine that whoever owned this before, because of this problem here, this note that was constantly sticking, they just couldn't fix it, so they just got rid of it, which is a shame. But I mean, I'm very happy because now I've got it, and as I said, it really does make a wonderful sound. We found this little piece by the French organist composer Jean Langlais, which I like to play. It's called a Prelude Modal. This is one of a group of little pieces that Langlais wrote. This is a piece in C major. It's actually really for the organ, but it works well on the harmonium. So I'd like to I'll sight read it, because I haven't really looked, but I'm going to sight read it and play it for you. The other thing you probably can't see on the video is that there are two little flaps here at the bottom, in between the two bellows. Now these are volume controls basically, and also the one that brings on the tutti like the full organ on the, when you press a new set up a general on the organ, you can actually program this particular piston to bring on every stop. And this little device on the left here, the flap on the left here, does exactly that. You've got to obviously place your knees together, pumping, and then you push out to bring on the full organ and to make the organ a little louder. So here's the 8 foots. And I push my right foot to make it a little louder. And then on my left foot to make the full organ. Amazing, isn't it? I mean, before these were not really working properly, but we repaired them and now they really work. So they're quite useful. And so I'm now going to play this little piece by Jean Longley. It's called Prelude Modal. Here we go. Yeah, there you go. Little Prelude Modal. So let me sight reading our way through that one. But anyway, I just wanted to sort of just show you because the harmonium is actually a very expressive instrument, and once you sort of learn how to operate the bellows and all these different things, it's good to have a good legato technique as well to really make it sing. And it's a very expressive instrument. I'm just so happy that it's working. Really, I mean, it's been a labour of love, and they are wonderful instruments. I know there's many aficionados all over the world and who play these, so I'd be very grateful to hear from anyone having seen this little video that I'm putting up here. But anyway, it's been fun. I hope you've enjoyed it, and here we go. Harmonium now working. Thanks, Grant.